Back in 1998, I went to the Blair Witch Project with a bunch of friends of mine. Halfway through that movie, people started barfing everywhere. That's right. They just started throwing up because of the crazy image stabilization or lack thereof, just watching a camcorder up and down. Well, if it's any inkling of what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to be comparing the Canon 14-35 f4 with the 15-35 f2.8 when it comes to image stabilization. We're going to be bringing this through the paces without image stabilization on the R6 Mark II, then doing digital IS, then digital IS enhanced, then looking at the in-body stabilization with each image stabilization with these lenses at the widest focal length and the widest aperture. It's gonna get wobbly.
Oh, you're a monster.
Okay, so this is the 14-35 at f4 and no IBIS on at all. So this is the deal. We're gonna do no IBIS, then we're gonna do digital image stabilization, the regular. Then we're gonna do digital image stabilization, the enhanced. Then we're only gonna do lens image stabilization. Then I'm gonna do image stabilization from the lens with the regular digital and then with the enhanced. So, and then we're gonna repeat that with the 15-35. And you're gonna have to go back and look at the comparison here. So pay attention to the no, this is just me walking around. This is not scientific. This is Jared-tific. I don't know if that's a word now. Putting it in Wikipedia. So here you go. This is what that looks like. Okay, now we are just at the digital regular image stabilization. That's, digital, nothing special. And that's what that looks like. This is me walking around. Do you notice a difference? How bad is it? It's the 14mm again on the 14-35 f4 here. And just walking around my backyard. I picked up poop the other day, so don't judge me, but I am looking down. You just never know if I miss one. No, it's not my own, it's my dog's. So, how does that look? We're gonna switch it over to the enhanced now and see what that looks like. Okay, we are now at enhanced. How does this look? Is it pretty enhanced? I have never tested this before, so thank you to the subscriber that totally told me to do this. I didn't even know that digital image stabilization all by itself worked without putting the lens image stabilization on. So this is pretty cool. I like it. So we'll see how this looks. I have no idea until I get back and look on my computer if I notice a huge difference. But obviously it does crop in a bit and I'm walking around. Again, not scientific. It's Jared-tific. That means it's not very exact. You have to test it out on your own. This is what you get. Not everybody does this. I go above and beyond for you guys because I love you. Do you love me? Then like this video. That's how I know I'm loved, by likes. So here it is. Now we're gonna go to the image stabilization of the lens first now. And here is image stabilization of the lens only. So no digital IS on this, just the lens. Happy Thanksgiving to all my US cronies. You Canadians, you can celebrate with us. It's okay. Europeans, of course. I mean, we came over here for some freedom from you guys, but we like you. I'm still one of you. I'm European descent. Can't you tell from my white bald head? Okay, we have IBIS with the camera, the lens, and the digital IS on right now. So here, I'm a little white. Let's make me darker. Yep, there we go. So here it is, a little bit better stabilization going on. Not bad. Okay, let's move it onto the enhanced. And now we are on the enhanced. How does that look? Do I look pretty enhanced to you? Here, we'll walk towards the sunset. It's romantic. Yeah, it's golden hour because because it is, because I said so. Is it shaky? Is it pretty good? We're going to compare this onto the 15 to 35 in just a moment here, but this is what the 14 millimeter looks like with the enhanced. Again, I'm going to make you go back to the video. I'll give you my opinions on what I think after looking at the footage, but you can also look back and see if you notice a big difference between the enhanced. By the way, you can bring this into post-production and do image stabilization in DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro, any of those. So honestly, unstable shots is not an issue nowadays. Now we're gonna kill two birds with one stone with this one. It is the 15 to 35, but I am actually doing it at 2.8, you know, compared to the F4. So at least now, between these two lenses, you can see what 2.8 versus F4 looks like when you've got the bokeh in the background. Lets in a lot more light, so I got to bring the ISO down. I'm not shooting log, this is just regular standard. So my ISO is 125, 2.8, 1/50th shutter. And we are probably wobbly, I'm imagining, because I can imagine things. And this lens is a lot heavier. So 15 millimeters, a lot heavier. The 2.8, it's a great lens. I've been using it for the last 3 years. So let's turn on just digital image stabilization, see what that looks like. Okay, now we just have the digital image stabilization. Do you notice a difference? Is it less wobbly? Oh man, there's like a smashed piece of poop down there. Yep, I stepped in it. I stepped in my dog's poop. That's what happens when I test in the backyard. Totally picked it up yesterday. Apparently they poop every day nowadays, so. Don't get dogs, they're annoying. I love them, but they annoy me. So how is this? Digital. Now let's put on the enhanced and see what that looks like. Now we are in enhanced mode, super enhanced on the 15 millimeter, 2.8, and it's at 2.8. Might as well, I gotta look around. I do not want to step in any more poop. Oh, just missed that one. We'll walk over here. How is that digital image stabilization enhanced? It obviously cropped in more. If you have a 14 millimeter, the crop isn't as bad, right? That 1 millimeter does make a difference. It truly does. We'll have a test on that when I do some more comparisons. I'm staying on safe ground over here. Don't want to step in any more of that crap. Oh, did I say that on YouTube? I can't say that word. Crap. Let's go into just regular image stabilization with the lens, which works with the in-body stabilization of the R6 II now. So now I just have the R6 II's in-body image stabilization with the image stabilization of the 15 to 35. So how does that look? Is that pretty good? Is there a lot of wobble at 15 millimeter? I imagine there is because I've experienced it before. There isn't if you put it on a gimbal, which I have. So we'll kind of walk around a little bit more. I know I keep looking down. You have to when you're in my backyard. Tell all my friends that come to visit, look down, watch where you step. How is that? We're gonna switch it over to the regular digital image stabilization with this. See how that goes. Okay, we are at 1/60th ISO, and yeah, it's getting a little bit darker, so I gotta do that. This is the regular digital image stabilization. I'm getting confused now. And I'm also having the image stabilization of the lens with the in-body stabilization of the camera. It's all together, so not bad, but 2.8 opposed to the F4, so you do get more bokeh in the background. It does look pretty good. I do love the 2.8. The F4 is good. And for what I use it for, I'm shooting F8 anyways, so it doesn't make a big difference. But for some of you, the 2.8 might be a big difference, and that's why I wanted to have that on here. So I'm actually gonna up it to 200 ISO. So with the in-body image stabilization, with the digital image stabilization, with the lens that has image stabilization, how does that look? It's heavy. I'm gonna tell you, it is super heavy on my arm compared to the 14 to 35. That could be a big, big breaker for a lot of you. So that's an idea. Now, the thing a lot of people don't realize is with Canon, and maybe this is with other ones that have in-body stabilization, if your lens has stabilization, the body of the camera has stabilization, you can't have one off and the other on, or the other on and the other off. It's either all on or all off when it comes to Canon. And so that could be good, that could be bad. I don't know, you just don't have those options, but you can be all digital stabilization and have the in-body and the lens off. So you do have that option. All right, let's do enhanced right now before it gets any darker. Okay, we are in enhanced mode, super enhanced. How does it look? I'm looking at myself to make sure I'm in focus and everything. So it obviously crops in quite a bit more, but yeah, not bad. Because of this, you may not have to do any kind of post-production image stabilization in DaVinci Resolve if you're me, or Final Cut Pro if you're one of you, or Premiere Pro, which used to be me, but I dumped them. So happy a year later, and I'm pretty excited. Don't miss that relationship. I definitely love DaVinci Resolve, and she loves me, and nobody's gonna break us up. Nobody. Is there wobble? Because I'm gonna take a look at this. Don't lie to me. I'm gonna take a look at this. We're gonna go back in the studio. I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. You're probably gonna go back and look at these clips and compare them. But you will say the 2.8 is nice. The F4 is good. But the 14mm even is wider, so cropping in with the digital and the enhanced version of the digital IS isn't as bad. You know, you're not cropping as much, but is that a big deal to you? Let's find out. So what did you think about the image stabilization with the 14-35 f4 and the 15-35 f2.8? Did you see a clear winner? You want to know what I think, don't you? You want to know my thoughts. Well, this is what I think. I think digital IS sucks. That is me. I'm not sure if YouTube is actually gonna, show how accurate it is, but when you just use the digital IS, it is horrible compared to using the in-body stabilization along with the lens. It just doesn't compare on both of those. But I will tell you where digital IS did come in and look a lot better. And that was when it came to the digital IS on top of the IBIS. It was okay with the normal mode, but a lot better on the enhanced on both of them. Also, did you notice that there is more vignetting in video with the 15-35 than there was the 14-35? I had to look at the footage over and over to compare, but from my eye, it looked like there was more vignetting, and that could just be me. What did you think? When punching in using digital IS, I did prefer the 14-35 over the 15-35. I did like the bokeh of the 15-35 more, but I don't buy an ultra-wide lens for the bokeh. Also, one was easier to hold for a longer period of time than the other. Yeah, I think you figured out which one that is. So when it comes to image stabilization, I don't see a clear winner between the two. I think they both handle it as well as they can for ultra-wide at 15mm and at 14mm. There is that wobble in the corners. I think where most of us are gonna win with either of these lenses is doing post-production image stabilization. And DaVinci Resolve offers an amazing quick fix when it comes to image stabilization. The other easy fix that doesn't include cropping in and ruining any of the pixels or the image would be gimbal. I use gimbal all the time, so with using in-body stabilization on both of these lenses and on a gimbal, I get the smoothest, nicest shots, especially with real estate walkthroughs. If you shoot 60 frames per second on a gimbal with image stabilization on and then slow it down by 40%, it's super smooth. You can't argue it. This is just the beginning of the testing between these two lenses. I'm going to be bringing them through their paces in comparison to see which one is best for you. I'm going to look at the 14mm compared to 15mm. Does that make a big difference, especially in real estate photography like I do? And what does the quality of the image look like? Is it sharp enough at f2.8, at f4 when they're both equal, at 5.6, f8, f11? do they stay the same? Those are going to be some future tests. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, stick around soon because we're going to be doing more comparisons on these lenses. If you want to see what ultra wide on a full frame camera looks like, check out that video right there on the 9mm on a full frame. That is crazy. Plus, it's a backyard full of poop again. You'll enjoy that video.